Jay-Z said best friends become your enemies. Ninjas' knives are double-edged. And it looked like two friends, colleagues, media personalities, and Joe Budden and DJ Akademiks have been engaging in some public war of words. And it looks like there's just some tension that's been simmering. Now, these two have a relationship that dates all the way back to at least the Complex days when they were on Everyday Struggle together. And since that show, they branched off and became the two biggest media platforms in hip hop. And there was always some competitiveness there, obviously, but they maintained, I would say, some cool and calm, friendly relations for their history of working together. But it seems as if things have really begun to go south for the two personalities, even to the point where Joe has asked DJ Akademiks, does he want war?
And at one, DJ Akademiks.
Ak, what up?
What up, Ak?
Ak, what up, bro?
Salute. Congrats.
Ak, I hear your little streams, nigga. You want war? Hey, what's up? You trying to turn shit up? What? I got to call my man to see what's going on.
I've been hearing something. I didn't know what went wrong. I've been hearing something. I've been hearing something.
I feel like all the people that was on Drake's side, it's just time for them to get their shit off with Iceman coming. So I'm not really. Yeah. I feel like that's what it is.
You think you just collateral damage?
Nah, but
I was on the other side of this. And then we had the fucking state conversation that he replied to. I don't know. I just got to call my man and see what's going on. But 1 and 2, 2 and 1, tomato.
Joe Budden's on his podcast reading a fucking lawsuit that is so frivolous that if he looked at on face value, it's retarded. The lawsuit says that Stake is botting streams. Like Stake is running some fake program to bot streams, and that Drake has a gambling deal to get fake streams. Huh? Like, they actually read that shit like the shit was legit. No, that's just something else they're trying to take Drake down a notch. There's 8 other lawsuits, 8 other fucking states that they have filed the same thing in. Do you think that Stake is like sitting here like, oh, let's get Drake some streams? How? So Stake figured out how to bot streams, but not the record labels. Why would Stake want to do it? Not only that, they read the fucking lawsuit. The lawsuit has so much inaccuracies, they can't even spell the nigga name right. I actually went to look at the lawsuit. Even the courts are saying, who the fuck are these people? Okay, beyond that, I don't expect the Joe Budden podcast who hires Mona to fucking do their due diligence. They're just reading off the paper. Got you. I bet. So now I'm watching the whole thing, and it's clearly inaccurate. It's mentions in the lawsuit this elaborate conspiracy theory that they're saying is a civil RICO, and they said supposedly Akademiks, Stake, Kick are all doing this scheme using fake money to inflate Drake's streams? Huh? What? It mentions clear inaccuracies. It says Aiden Ross is with Stake. A quick Google search will tell you Aiden Ross hasn't been with Stake in about a year. Aiden Ross is with another gambling company. He's actually with a gambling company called Rainbet. But the facts don't matter when it comes to like throwing darts at like, you know, the Drakes and the whoever's of the world. Let it have been Jay-Z. Nigga, we skimmed through that Jay-Z shit with a fine-tooth comb, and everybody and their mama pointed out every inaccuracy of any claim made against him. Hey, how the fuck did you get from one state to another saying you met the nigga at 13, you were outside of the fucking award show? Everybody made sure they were on their due diligence. But when it comes to some other shit, niggas is just reporting all type of bullshit. No, this is a frivolous make-believe bullshit.
I think two things that happened in recent history have seemed to push these men apart. One, I think very obviously the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef, where Joe Budden very clearly took Kendrick's side. The whole Joe Budden podcast was dancing on Drake's grave, and Akademiks very clearly took Drake's side and became his biggest media defender. That was naturally going to pit their opinions against each other. But even through that, I believe that they maintained a good relationship and allowed each other to have their own opinions. What I think really began to drive these two apart was the fact that Joe Budden started to hire DJ Akademiks as ops. First, he hired Mark Lamont Hill, and Mark Lamont Hill has had issues with DJ Akademiks for years now. There was very public Twitter spats going back and forth. I remember when people were trying to show that Ak had said some weird things about, college students dealing with underage girls, and it seemed like Ak was approving of it. Mark Lamont Hill was very publicly critical of that. And so they had their issues. Akademiks even went on DJ Vlad, and him and DJ Vlad were very plainly disrespecting Mark Lamont Hill. And then, lo and behold, Mark Lamont Hill gets hired by Joe Budden. And I think if you're Ak, you're wondering, man, okay, you supposed to be my homie, but you hiring my ops. And I'm sure Joe Budden knew that, hey, a very significant friend of the podcast in DJ Akademiks has a problem with Mark Lamont Hill. That didn't stop Joe Budden at all from hiring Mark Lamont Hill. But I think even that, there seemed to have been some squashing of the beef. Mark Lamont Hill said, you know what, me and Akademiks are good. Akademiks kind of said, all right, me and Mark Lamont Hill are good. And they were kind of moving past that. But then Joe Budden goes ahead and hires Mona. And Mona's on the show taking very clear shots at DJ Akademiks. And I think that DJ Akademiks has built up resentment because you're looking at, if Joe is my boy, he's my man's, why does he keep hiring my ops? Notice Akademiks hasn't even been on the podcast very recently. And it seems as if, well, if he goes there, the atmosphere ain't as receptive as it once was. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I saw this tension coming from a mile away. I've always kind of wondered about the relationship between Joe Budden and Akademiks. All the way back when the Joe Budden podcast had Rory and Mal. Rory and Mal would repeatedly take shots at Ak, criticize Ak for the war in Chirac, and just basically say he's a lame that somehow built a platform based on the internet. And they had zero respect for Akademiks. And during those conversations, Joe Budden would always just sit back and relax and not defend Akademiks. And I always thought it was strange. Like, yo, ain't Joe Budden and Ak his mans? Ak is always talking about Joe Budden's his mans and all of that. And whenever Rory and Mal taking shots at Ak, Joe Budden ain't defending them. And I always thought that was the strangest thing. And that has bled over into the present, where you see Joe Budden hiring people that Akademiks wouldn't really get along with. It seemed to me that Joe Budden didn't really care about how Ak would be perceived by hiring people who were very plainly and clearly critical of Ak for years. And I felt like it was only a matter of time before Ak would wake up to that and be like, yo, is this dude Joe Budden really rocking with me or not? You heard it in the clip himself. He said, yo, you can't trust the Joe Budden podcast to do their due diligence on that Frivolous lawsuit when they hired Mona. It's clear that I think the Mona hire made it so that Akademiks really does not respect the moves that Joe Budden is making. And I think he's lost a lot of respect for the podcast. But in any case, we're going to see how cool these guys really are, if they really have a real friendship. I don't think anything has been said or done where they cannot get on the phone like men, work it out, and move forward in a positive light. But I do feel like the tension has been brewing for a while, and we'll see how it shapes up. But family, this has been Providence. Thank you guys for rocking with me. If you like the video, please like the video. And I would ask that you support a small content creator trying to grow his channel with your subscription. I deeply appreciate your support. I'll see you guys in the next video.